The movie is The Sheep Detectives, and it's a movie, frankly, I almost didn't see. The trailer for it played in the theater one afternoon before whatever it is I'd actually come to watch was playing. And I remember thinking it looked silly. It was a flock of CGI generated sheep solving a murder. And Hugh Jackman, of all people, was playing the shepherd. I filed it under the not for me, and I really quickly forgot about it. And then my friend Susanne Wilson told me that she'd seen it and she said it was really about the continuity of life. Well, that perked up my ears. That stopped me cold because that's the one subject that I just can't resist. So this afternoon, I watched The Sheep Detectives and I was wrong about it in the best possible way. Spoiler alert, I'm going to give away some of the heart of the film. So if you'd rather watch it fresh, go ahead and do that and then come back. I'll be here. I'm not going to tell you who committed the murder because it's still fun to watch the movie, even with the spoilers I'm going to give you here. The Sheep Detectives is a children's movie that's secretly about death. On its surface, this is a whodunit. George the shepherd, played by Jackman, reads detective novels aloud to his flock every night, assuming that they can't understand a word. He's just enjoying his time with the sheep, and he really loves his sheep. Then one morning, he's found dead in the pasture. The sheep, grief stricken and armed with everything George's mystery novels taught them, decide they're going to solve the mystery themselves rather than leave it up to the bumbling policeman in the town. The movie is rated PG, it's marketed to families, and reviewers call it charming. But underneath the cozy mystery is something far more tender. This is a movie about how a flock refuses to face loss and what that refusal costs them. Craig Mazin, who wrote the film and also wrote The Last of Us, gave these sheep a theology. They don't believe sheep pass away. They believe that when a sheep is gone, it simply becomes a cloud. No one dies. Death is just a construct in the nighttime stories that George tells them. Look up, they're all there, drifting, safe, never really gone, but of course, never really here. It's a coping mechanism with a huge cost, which I recognized instantly. We do the same thing. When someone we love passes, we reach for the softest possible language. They're in a better place. They're watching over us. They're a star, now a cardinal. They're a cloud. Some of that comes from genuine belief. And I hold it myself. I'm not making fun of people who believe this. I've spent decades studying evidence for the continuation of consciousness, and that's what I push constantly. I'm not here to take anyone's comfort away, actually, just the opposite. But some clouds are just avoidance dressed up as comfort. It's a story we tell so we never have to stand in the pasture and admit that someone's gone from our arms. The cloud lets us skip the ache, it lets us keep grazing. The sheep aren't wrong that something continues, they're wrong that they can love without ever looking at the loss. But here's the trick that nearly breaks the flock. Here's the part that really got to me. The sheep have an ability, and it's more dangerous than the cloud myth by far. When something painful happens, they can decide together to simply forget it. A whole flock agreeing to look away. The hard thing dissolves and the grazing continues. Now, it sounds like mercy. Who wouldn't want a button that deletes the worst times of your life? But the film understands something most of us learn the hard way. You cannot forget selectively. When the sheep erase the pain of losing one of their own, they also erase the sheep itself, the one they've lost. The name, the warmth, the way that one stood a little apart from the rest. All of it goes because you cannot reach into a life and pull out only the sharp parts to get rid of. The good and the painful are braided together. You cut one and the whole thing unravels. There's one sheep, though, who couldn't look away. He just couldn't play along. His name is Mopple. Mopple is a merino ram who never forgets a thing. While the rest of the flock wills itself into that merciful blankness, Mopple holds it all the memories, every face, every loss, the whole history of the meadow, including the ones who are gone. He remembers his mother. He carries what no one else will. And for most of the film, that looks like a curse. He's the one who aches while everyone else goes numb. He bears the weight of memory alone so the flock can keep grazing in peace. Does this sound familiar? In almost every grieving family, there's a Mopple, the one who won't let the loss be tidied away, the one who says the name at the dinner table after everyone else has gone quiet, the one accused of not moving on when they're really just refusing to trade a person for a cloud. If that's you, hear this. What looks like being stuck is often love that simply refuses to look away. You're carrying something precious for people who aren't ready to hold it yet. And here's where the film lands. In the end, Mopple tells the flock the truth he's been holding all along. It's our memory that keeps the ones we love alive. What looked like a burden was really love still doing its work. The man who directed this film, Kyle Balda, understood that firsthand. Kyle lost his own mother suddenly at the age of 23. And by his own account, he sprinted through the first year without really ever stepping into the grief. He forgot the anniversary of her passing entirely and then felt like a monster when he realized it. He put himself into this film to say what he wished someone else had told him. We forget because remembering is terrifying. But this is not the way through. This is the heart of what I teach. I've never seen it dramatized quite like this. We treat grief like a wound to be closed. Get past it, move on, stop dwelling, as if the goal were to feel less, to remember less. But grief is the proof that you loved well. To grieve is to keep remembering, to keep saying the name, to let the good memories and the hard ones sit at the same table because they came from the same person, the same unrepeatable life. The flock's tragedy is that they'd rather feel nothing than feel everything. And that's the choice. Feel nothing or feel everything. We can't just feel some of the things. And in choosing to forget, they don't just lose their grief, they lose their loved ones a second time. I've helped people in my coaching work who've arrived wanting the same thing the sheep wanted to stop hurting. And what they discover almost every time is they don't actually want the memories gone. They want the memories to stop being only pain. And those are very different requests. My whole philosophy lives in these three words: planted, not buried. I've learned that the love and the loss grow from the same soil. I keep Shayna's picture on my desk, on my watch face, in the foyer of my home. I keep her close on purpose. Forgetting her to spare myself the ache will cost me the joy of her too, because the ache and the joy grow from the same root. Shayna is still my daughter. Remembering her fully, the laughter and the longing both, is how I keep her present rather than trading her for a cloud. Her angelversary was just a week ago. I woke up and the first feeling I had was anger. It hurt. But the only way to avoid that would be to not remember at all. And that's the choice the sheep finally face. To remember is to hurt, but to remember is also to keep loving. You don't get one without the other. So instead of choosing to forget George, their beloved shepherd, they finally choose to remember. And so can we. If you could press the flock's button, if you could forget your deepest loss and feel nothing at all, would you? Most of us, when we sit with it honestly, wouldn't, because the memory is the love, and love was the whole point all along. Kyle Balda finally stopped running from his mother's memory, and that turn is beautifully expressed by Kyle in this film. A man choosing at last to walk back into grief that he once sprinted past. He remembers his mother now. So did Mopple for everyone who passed from the flock, and so do I every single day for my daughter Shayna. Go watch The Sheep Detectives if you get the chance. Bring your kids if you have them. The mystery is fun and the ending earns its place. But watch it as an adult too and notice what those sheep are really teaching. Then tell me in the comments, what's one memory you'd never trade away, even though it hurts to hold it? I read every reply. And if this reached you, share it with someone standing in their own pasture right now. They may need permission to remember.